Alright, so for those of you who may be wondering, yes, this is a normal Wi-Fi battle, but I decided to do something a little bit different. For those of you who may not know, there is no actual replay saver in Pokemon Sword and Shield, and because I used to do a bunch of post-comms back in the day, I figured, hey, let's try a post-comm of a Sword and Shield battle. Now, I did do a bit of editing to the actual battle to kind of make it seem more like a replay, and you guys will see exactly what I mean. So if you guys do enjoy this and you would like to see this more alongside the live Wi-Fi battles, or if you prefer this style as opposed to the live Wi-Fi battles, please let me know in the comment section below, and make sure to hit that thumbs up button as well, because this does kind of take a little bit of a process. But if you guys like this, then I am 100% down to do it. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the battle here. So this match was against my boy Austin, aka Garchomp the God. Now, apologize for the quick team preview. I'm not going to be rambling as much for future battles here, but going into this game, easily the biggest threat was going to be Barraskewda. That thing is pretty much borderline broken in the OU metagame currently, because as Swift Swim, it's insanely fast, hits insanely strong, and he does have the Pelipper with the Drizzle, so that's going to be very, very problematic going into this battle. So I decided to lead off with my Seismitoad, as he decides to lead off with his what's this thing called? Mudsdale. I don't know why I was about to say Mustang, but he ends up leading off with a Mudsdale. Now, I was really contemplating on whether or not I should go straight for the Stealth Rocks or go for the Scald, mainly because he does have a Hatterene in the back, which has the Magic Bounce ability, so I didn't want to get on my rocks and have him hard switch it in and just bounce them back to me. But because he didn't bring it in turn 1 after he got up his own Stealth Rocks, I figured that this turn he probably won't switch in Hatterene, so I can't take this opportunity to go ahead and get up my own Stealth Rocks, as he roars me into possibly one of the worst things that he could have roared me into, because there is nothing that my Rapidash can do to this Mudsdale, especially because he does now have a +1 in his physical defense. So I'm going to be forced to bring back in my Seismitoad here, as he ends up going for the Heavy Slam. Gets a crit there, which really doesn't matter, but it was a little bit annoying, mainly for the fact that I don't have leftovers on the Seismitoad. I actually have the Rindo Berry, and I really wish I had leftovers, but it is what it is, as I'm gonna go ahead and just fire off another Scald. Like, even though yes, he does have Pelipper in the back, I have Stealth Rocks up. If it comes in, he's gonna get Rain up, and then I'm gonna get a Rain boosted Scald off, and then I can also burn him, which would be amazing, because the sooner Pelipper is gone, the sooner his Rain is gone, which means the Barraskewda becomes slightly less of a problem, I suppose. But he ends up bringing in the Hatterene here, as I make an aggressive switch into my Berserker. Very positive he's not going to go for a fire move on a water type, so I figured that I could take a Psychic or a Dazzling Gleam, as it turns out that this thing learns Giga Drain, which I had no idea it could learn. But either way, I'm still in a really good spot. I easily outspeed him. I'm Adamant Choice Banded with the Tough Claws. I'm going to go straight for the U-turn. He still has good use for this Hatterene later in the battle, so I don't expect him to want to stay in here, as I can go ahead and U-turn out on the incoming Pelipper, which that actually did a decent amount of damage, considering that it is resisted, as I bring in my Indeedee here. Now, this is actually Choice Scarfed Indeedee, and the issue with this is that if he feels like being aggressive and switching into his Weavile here on my Psychic, then that could put me in a really, really bad spot. But that's such a risky play. It's such bad rewarding play, essentially, that I don't think he's going to bring in Weavile here, because I could easily knock it out if I did decide to go for the Hyper Voice. So I decided to be aggressive and obvious and go straight for the Psychic, as down goes the Pelipper. This is really good, but the issue now comes with this very appropriately named Barraskewda, because there is nothing on my team that outspeeds it. So I figured I need to sack something here, so I'm gonna sack off my Berserker. That way I could get a switch into my Seismitoad, a Dynamax, and hopefully try to take on the Barraskewda 1v1. But he ends up making a double switch into his Hatterene. I'm not sure why. I think he was expecting me to bring in my Seismitoad, expecting him to go for the water move, because I am water absorbed Seismitoad. So yeah, I'm not sure why he didn't just go for Crunch there, or maybe he didn't want to waste his turns of rain and just wanted to guarantee a KO. with at least doubling out. That way he caught my Seismitoad and I wouldn't be able to finish him off, and then he forces me out and racks up Stealth Rock's damage. I'm not too sure what he was thinking there, but either way I get the better end of the switches here, which means I can go ahead and go for a stab Iron Head here. Whatever's coming in is going to be taking a good chunk of damage, as I kind of get a little bit of justice for the 2 crits he got on me as I crit his Mudsdale. I don't know if that crit really mattered. I might have been able to 2-hit KO him still, even if he did get the stamina boost, because again, I'm adamant choice banded with the Tough Claw, so that's a lot of raw power if you really think about it. So yeah, I'm not sure if that crit really ended up changing anything. As in comes the Barraskewda. I don't have a switch into this, and there's no way I'm gonna risk bringing in my Seismitoad, even though he did go for the liquidation there, which is a little bit frustrating, because if I did bring in my Seismitoad, I would have been able to be brought back up to full HP, and that would have been amazing. So I forgot to cut this little switch scene here out, or I may just do it real quickly, and you guys may not even know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I bring in my Seismitoad here, and I figured that, okay, I need to Dynamax. Like, there's no other way that I can potentially live a hit from this Barraskewda. I'm especially defensive. I don't have a lot of physical defensive ease whatsoever, so I don't know if I can live a hit or not, but it's definitely in my best interest to be safe here, go for the Dynamax, and guarantee that I will be able to live. It does kind of suck that I have to use my Dynamax on my Seismitoad here, but this is the only thing I have on my team that can even live any one hit from this Barraskewda in the rain. So he goes for the crunch, does end up getting a defense drop there, which really does not matter whatsoever, as I am luckily going to be able to take him out with the Max Quake, which is amazing, because now the biggest issue is gone, and it looks like I am in a pretty good spot to potentially win the battle here, depending on how things go. As in comes the Hatterene. I really don't mind what this thing wants to do to me. I'm in the rain. I'm gonna go straight for the Max Geyser. I lose really nothing in doing so. I'm guessing he brought this in as opposed to something like Seismitoad, not Seismitoad, sorry, Weavile, just because he wanted to waste my last few turns of the Dynamax here, as I just obliterate that Hatterene. That is one nuisance out of the way now, as he's trying to figure out what to potentially bring in here, which is going to be the Centiskorch. I think is how you pronounce it. What, Centiskorch? Yeah, I think that's how you pronounce the name. Either way though, I'm just going to leave in Seismitoad here in hopes that maybe I can live a hit, and then that way I can get off one final KO in the rain here with my Max Geyser. But as you're going to see, he does end up Dynamaxing himself, and unfortunately he does turn out to have what I believe is the Power Whip, so that turns into Max Overgrowth. So even though I do have the Rindo Berry, because I have my -1 defense, he is going to be able to knock me out. I don't really think, even if he didn't get the -1 defense, that I would have lived the hit. So yeah, again, I'm specially defensive, not physically defensive, so you probably still would have been able to knock me out regardless. As down goes my Seismitoad. This is a little bit scary, because this thing Dynamax is obviously going to be able to eat a whole bunch of hits, and I end up making a really dumb mistake here. I was thinking, oh, this is a giant bug. This is a giant Pokemon that is clearly going to be faster than everything that I have on my team. So let me bring in my Cramorant, go for agility, and then that way when I live the hit next turn, I outspeed, and I can potentially get off a huge hit or knock him out. But no, it turns out that I was still faster than him, because Dynamax does not change your speed, and I was just thinking very dumb there. Honestly, that damage I would have got off with Brave Bird or Surf doesn't end up mattering whatsoever in the long run of the battle. That was just a really dumb mistake on my end there. As I bring in my Indeedee, I am then going to switch into my Frostmoth, because my thought was that if he doesn't go for a fire move, I can live a hit, hopefully outspeed him the next turn and get off some damage, bring in Indeedee, and then potentially knock him out with that. But if anything, at least by getting up my Psychic Terrain, I can bring in my Rapidash. I know that I'm faster than him. His Dynamax ends this turn, and with me being Life Orb fully offensive, hopefully a Zen Headbutt in Psychic Terrain will be able to knock him out. If I don't knock him out, I guarantee him in range of where I can then bring in my Indeedee and guarantee knock him out with the Hyper Voice, because at this point he's got this Centiskorch and he's got the Weavile left in the back, and I'm hoping that after Stealth Rocks I will be able to knock him out with the Hyper Voice, because at that point that is really my only chance of winning the battle here. So yeah, again, me not going for an offensive move earlier with Cramorant against the Centiskorch doesn't end up mattering whatsoever. As I knock him out with the Hyper Voice, the battle basically comes down to whether or not after Stealth Rock's damage I am able to finish him off with the Hyper Voice, or he could randomly be Choice Scarfed. I have no idea. Either way, I have to hope I can do enough damage to this thing, as I am going to go ahead, be able to outspeed him, and I am going to go for the Hyper Voice, as he barely hangs on with like 20% HP, and he's gonna be able to knock me out with the throat chop. So unfortunately, we do end up losing 1-0 to my boy Austin, but this was an awesome battle. So yeah, guys, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, let me know if you kind of like this style for future Wi-Fi battles, if you enjoy this more than live comms. Again, it does take a little bit more time with the editing and stuff, but if you guys like it, I'm down to do it. Hit that thumbs up button down below and let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Happy Thanksgiving, because that's when this should be going up, and I will see you all hopefully on Friday. So later, everybody, make sure to check out our other 2 Wi-Fi battles if you have not seen them already. So later, everybody.